Good morning, y'all. It's Timidity. You're finally not seeing me laying down for once. That's a good sign. I was just about to take some vitamins and process what I'm gonna do this morning. I technically could have been up and about doing a ton of shit at like 4:50 a.m. That's when I got off the recording my last video last night. But I thought to myself I was too heartbroken about my recent crush, and I was like, I need to sleep it off and wake up and see what happens. Like, sure, I could have gotten up and tried to play video games on my PS4, tried to work or burn out myself, but I know that wouldn't have helped. The disgusting thing is sometimes in life you just need to sit your fucking ass down, close your eyes, have some weird ass freaky daydreams, and freaky in the sex way and freaky in the esoteric, like weird Picasso, Salvador Dali dreamscape way. And just have a bunch of weird freaky dreams about that unreciprocated affection you have for that one person who isn't good for you, and feel your fucking feelings. Now, not to suck my own dick, but I'm an interesting person. And I say that not literally not to suck my own dick. I say that in the sense of I can recognize, hey, I'm someone who has a history where if I wanted to, I really could be a man-eater. I could be the best man-eater of all time. Like, Jesus Christ, sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, God gave you fucking shelf D-cup titties, the smallest fucking waist ever. Like, bitch, on your worst day, you are built like Jane Fonda. On your best day, you're built like Jane Mansfield. And, like, you have a perfect smile. You were born with your teeth straight. You were born with a nice, full, thick head of hair and working fucking hairline genetics for the most part. Yeah, for the most part. And you have a bunch of obscene talents and joy and bliss and long, sexy legs and a tight, sexy ass that still has the right amount of bounce, wrivel, and curve to get you anything you want. And a flexible body and caramel skin and hazel eyes, and just overall, you're the fucking finest bitch alive. And then he also went, here, let's make her sound like British or Caribbean or whatever, just for good measure. And then he gave me a sprinkle of autism because I guess that's how you get all this shit together. But let's just say he had to even the scales somehow, so he just kind of was like, we should give her, like, some trauma. Or, like a complex backstory and stuff, and he tried to do his magic. But my guess is, this is my theory. My guess is that he was just like, I'm gonna add, like, a little, like, okay, I'm gonna put it in her coding. Like, imagine just God hunched over a keyboard like some sort of, like, tired 13-year-old playing The Sims at 2 a.m. when they know they're supposed to be in bed. And he's like, I'm gonna type into her code that she's gonna be the perfect man-eater. There we go. But then, he accidentally does some shit, like he accidentally like spills like a huge container of like trauma enough to make the average serial killer become a serial killer with their fucking hopelessness and despair. And then he's like, ah, shit. And in the process of trying to swipe all that shit out, there's still way too much, and he accidentally clicks enter. And then he just fucking shoots me into the system, and then he realizes, oh shit, I put man killer! And then I'm forced to go through life just like constantly like, oh god, I want to fight these niggas. Oh, this man's pissing me off. Ah, and it's like, no! And so every once in a while he has to be like, hey, Tamia, look. I'm sending you a sexy guy. He was a rich guy. Do something good with them. But he gave me too much trauma, and it's built into my coding, and when he was building me, he fucked that shit up way too much. And so that's why it'll be like, oh, look, a rich, sensitive guy who has mommy issues. I'm gonna try to make him feel loved in the way I need to be loved. No, bitch, you're supposed to destroy him! Or at the like, no! Or at least ask for things, and then I get my heart broken. And then I start thinking about becoming a serial killer, and he's like, ah, shit, I have to send endless angel numbers so that she gets the sign not to do it. Hey, Tamia, look, a new nigga, this one's really cute. And then I get played by that nigga, and it's like, I'm just saying. I mean, that's just a small little joke. Don't worry, I'm not gonna become a serial killer. At least I'm pretty fucking sure. Am I? Let's just say I had plenty of opportunities, and I haven't, so I think we're on the right fucking track. I definitely got a whole lot of fucking trauma, and a whole lot of people that pissed me the fuck off, and a whole lot of bullshit has happened, but you know what? We vibe regardless. But I will say it like this. Sometimes it does feel like loving is a punishment for me. Like if you reflected on the friends I've had over the past year or so, or even the romantic flings, like even recently, like it feels like I'm cursed or something. I don't want to believe it, but it's like the recent guy I was talking to. There wasn't supposed to be any sort of serious or dramatic shit that tied into it, but it did. It really fucking did. Because I'll meet people and I'll be like, you know what, I'll try to like make them feel appreciated and loved, and I can even get joy just from doing that. But then it doesn't get reciprocated, and then I feel like lashing out, and that's not good. And I suppose I'm just asking myself, what do I want now? Do I want someone who will love, cherish, and appreciate me? Honestly, yes. Do I want to be thought of and remembered? Yeah. And I'm trying to remember that there are ways to get that without inherently romantic attraction. Like, I've already, obviously, familial is not an option for me. Romantic is just the easiest because you can always find a nigga who's gonna say sweet nothings in your ear if he wants to get in that rear. But in terms of like, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. I enjoy reciprocation. And I don't know, it just seemed like a cruel fucking joke because I really sat there in my house and I just was like, I haven't felt anything for people in a while. Aside from, of course, my ex Liam, but I doubt he's my soulmate, obviously. It's like I liked him. I did. I still do. He's wonderful. But I thought to myself, I miss the feeling and the rush of crush. I don't want someone who wants to make me lash out, pass out, or crash out. I want someone where I just feel really good with them. And I guess that's how I felt about that music producer guy I was talking to, because it's like, oh, I don't know. One can joke, like, oh, did God send you him as a life lesson, or did the devil just know how to reach you and he just wanted to, like, see if he could get you? Now, mind you, I'm not religious. I just like to make religious jokes. But I just do, to an extent, believe in a higher power. Like, for example, it just seemed so uncanny because it's like out of no, like I just was like I would love a crush, something harmless like a flirtatious little fling, nothing serious, nothing dramatic, doesn't have to end in a relationship at all, but something to make me feel alive for a bit and just is really fun. And then next thing you know, it's like, hi, here's this musical artist who is exactly your type, tall, skinny, pale as fuck, who has mental issues, but they're interesting and like they seem relatively sane and smart, like even with them. They have a past just as complex and interesting as yours. They have all the beautiful features you can ever have found attractive in a person, excluding being bald. But like, I didn't care. Like, if any, like, I don't care if a nigga has hair or not, because it's like if you're cute, I'm gonna touch your scalp regardless. I don't care. I'm still gonna stroke your hair as if you have hair. If anything, it seems more fun that way. Oh, I would have loved to have done that. And just overall, he seemed intriguing and creative and smart and sexy and fun and silly and a lot of things that I wanted in a person. A little bit too much to an extent. But like, yeah, he still had just enough things where he gave me enough icks where it's like, okay, he's a little boring. Alright, he's not like the absolute nicest. But like he's not a dick. It's just like, alright, this is someone who doesn't seem like they fully have manners. And you know, some fuckboys aren't very smart and they talk a certain way. So I just thought to myself, this guy seems good for what it is. He could just be like dick pics and compliments guy. I give him compliments, he gives me dick pics. That works well. It was a surprise. And what also was a surprise was when we had a video call that lasted like 5 hours and probably would have gone on for longer of them showing me their music and telling me their life story and connecting with me. But I guess one can say, was it truly connecting? Because he did mostly talk about himself. Like, my mic stopped working, so I couldn't really talk as much as I wanted to, but I did type. I did get to reply to everything, and I got to see the way he blushed and giggled and laughed, and still got to joke with him and ask him about his life. And I thought to myself, even if it's not truly the most mutual exchange ever and kind of feels like an interview, at least it's a fun one. At least it's one where it's like this is like some sort of like damn near musical prodigy type, or at least like extreme talent. Like, dude was awesome. He could play piano, he could play guitar, he could play. There's another drums, and he could also sing on top of that and make beats in like two different platforms. And they were insane beats. They weren't some generic shit either. I gotta say, I was impressed. And I thought he was a layered and deep and possibly really cool person with a lot of talent. But I think it's a damn shame how things ended up. I would have liked if they didn't end that way. I'm not saying they had to end in a relationship. Like I said, I'm not possessive, and like I said, he had enough flaws where, let's just say, the idea of a relationship with him would have not been all that tempting. Let's just say that he is, like, yeah. But I liked him and I wanted to get to know him more and talk to him more. And what was funny was he was talking to me on his own accord. And that made some sort of like feeling of safety in me that scared me to an extent. I didn't say it outright. I didn't say, "Hey guys, this fuckboy is talking to me," and he's suddenly like adding more letters to his messages and being more endearing and doing this, doing that. What the fuck does it mean? I didn't look too much into it. I just thought this is a cute guy, and I will try my best to be totally normal about this, even though I can get very abnormal when it comes to feelings for people. But allegedly, so can he. And whether it was his facade was finally dropping, or he truly did have some sort of feelings for me that he just could not emotionally handle, or did not want to address, or whatever, doesn't change the fact that he still projected his rage onto me. And that's not cool. If he bothered to actually know about me or care about me, which is why I know that his feelings were not quite as intense as mine, because here I am. It's like, oh, I know roughly how many siblings you have, and I care about like his anxiety and his stress levels and his life and stuff. He couldn't care the same way. It was kind of funny. It's like I remember it was funny on Thanksgiving. He was complaining about how he had the worst Thanksgiving ever, and me, I'm estranged from my fucking family, bitch. I don't have them around. I didn't have the option to go anywhere. But meanwhile, he was complaining like, "Oh, it was so boring. I missed a Friendsgiving and I feel guilty about it." And I was cheering his ass up. But I guess a part of me was like, "Hey, I'm just glad someone's talking to me." As sad as that is, I was like, "Eh." He's not asking in response, but at the same time, I know it's not the most okay, but I'm not really treating him as someone who I need to be serious about. And I'm not totally in love with him either. It's just like this is just some guy. And you know what? It's a time killer. Because some people don't even spare that much. Let me not cry in this video. I tried my best. He wasn't trying his best. But yeah, I can say a million things about him and know a million things about him. He probably couldn't remember even 2% about me. And if you're wondering what happened when he lashed out at you, it was pretty sudden. It was like after a solid like 2 days in a row where like he was texting back fast and texting more letters and stuff. And I was still texting about the same as I always do. I wasn't being overly affectionate. I was like, hey, let me not get caught up in sending back hella extra letters or smiley faces or whatever the fuck, because I don't want to risk getting hurt by this guy. I don't know if that led to some sort of weird domino effect where he felt underappreciated or paranoid or whatever the fuck, or scared. And if it did, I feel bad about it, but maybe I shouldn't. Because he's a big man, he can use his words. And I wasn't being cold. It just meant that while he sent good morning with like 3 G's, when he had the chance, I said good morning with 1 G, but then still told him, hey, I sent my friends your music, they loved it. And they especially loved this song and that song and all that shit. And it meant that like I still showed care. I still did, always. Let's just say this really fucked with my mental health, man. The last thing you need is a guy going out of his way to start acting different. Like different. Oh, sorry, unrelated, but I just found out I have the rest of my Popeye's chicken sandwich. Sorry. Sleeping is so funny, I thought I finished it off last night. Anyway, not related. But I liked him a lot. But I guess a part of me also wanted the validation of like, hi, I want you to see me as interesting back. I want you to see me as like an asset, as useful, as someone you can't live without, someone you want to be around. And the people pleasing tendencies did start to kick in again. And that's not healthy. But I didn't do overkill. At least this time I still was relatively chill. Like, it wasn't me demanding they talk to me every single second of the day. If anything, when they stopped talking to me, I would usually go, oh, they're not talking to me. They probably are just busy or have their own life. And plus, they live across the country. So let me go ahead and just, like, mind my business. Let me go ahead and, like, just focus on myself. So I would read webcomics. I had several webcomics I was reading at the time and really got into. I could read those for hours. Like, if anything, I just was at the stage where I thought I was finally healing. I was like, I can flirt with someone harmlessly and not get too attached emotionally and be okay this time. It's not going to be like all the other times where it went wrong. This time it's going to work. And maybe this guy and me can be like platonic friends who casually text every like once a blue moon or every now and then, like someday, and I'm not really tripping off of whatever happens with him. If he's got other girls, if he got just I don't care that much. I just thought to myself, I like his music genuinely. I think he is cool genuinely, and I would like to see where it goes. So I'll put it this way: if I'm the type of person where when I get a crush, I start punching pillows and crying and screaming and freaking the fuck out and losing my mind and becoming overly anxious and attached and obsessive to them, and then this time around, I'm genuinely like, oh, okay, he hasn't texted back in a few hours. Breathe in, breathe out, read that one fucking Yandier comic off of a webtoon that you really like, read some fun princess comments, like get back into some hobbies, like start looking at gemstones and stuff online for fun, talk to other people on your roster, figure out some stuff you got to do around your place or want to do, like check on your bank accounts. Like I remember one day I thought to myself, oh, like it was a little bit of a rougher day for me for a lot of reasons. I think my period was also about to come, and that was making me hyper emotional and hyper angry and like a little bit sad, but I still was self-aware, and I was like, I'm gonna distance from this man a bit, play some music, dance, take some vitamins. And then I really just went ham cleaning up my room and taking care of my laundry, because I thought to myself, if I'm gonna be in consistent contact with someone romantically, I need to have a life of my own and be able. And if they did want to ask, hey, to me, what were you up to today? I want to be like, oh, I took care of my place, watered my plants, did this, did that, did this, and the other, instead of just like, oh, like I want it to be like good. And I don't know. Imagine that like a few days in, as you're just like feeling nice and emotionally well balanced and you're not tripping off of anything, and you feel like you finally got what you wanted. A perfect balance of harmony and like a new friend who of course you see the dick of sometimes and flirt with a little bit, but it's nothing too serious. And then they lash out at you. And he went really fucking ham during it. He lashed out really fucking hard, and it made me upset. Because it's like, let's just say he started accusing me of a bunch of shit that he knew damn well I didn't fucking do. And he started to get really, really, really irritable. And he said some things that actually really, really hurt me. And it made me think, oh, so as I was thinking, this guy's cool. Maybe we could be prolonged friends, and maybe one day after enough talking, we can like meet up in public. Whether it's just to fuck or just to hang out or whatever. Like, hey, maybe one day I could go to Colorado and we could be homies or whatever. I know some people out in Colorado. That could be nice. It was always on my bucket list to go. People said it was beautiful. And I don't know how to explain it, but it just really set me back. Really fucking hard. And I at first I did a really good job at not caring. Or I'd say a win is that I prioritized myself this time around. Because when he got disrespectful as fuck, when he was saying the hurtful shit he said over messages, I was like, you know what? We don't have to talk anymore. It's fine. And he was like, no, I still want to talk. I still want to be friends. And then but he still kept saying more degrading shit on top of that. And I was like, no, we don't have to talk. And he was like, I do want to talk to you. I just, and I had to explain to him, it's like, no, you're saying that you hate talking to me all the time and that you're annoyed at me for having all these standards and requirements. And the only requirement has been that you occasionally ask something back to me, which you've done like what, maybe like twice, like fucking 2 times every like maybe maximum 4 over the course of 2 days, and at best it was a what are you doing, and or like I'm just saying, and something in it just broke me. I'm not saying it like did massive psych damage. Maybe it did. It probably did. But I just thought to myself, damn it, am I really just cursed to not have a good romance, a good fling, a happy ending? There's only like one person to this day that I can say I have like a good romantic bond with to this day, or a good ex. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how to feel about all this. It just kind of feels fucked up. It feels like some higher power was like, we need to give Tamia a taste of the sweet life, of what she could have and experience. But first, let's send it in the form of this extremely, like, jack of all trades, master of damn near everything, extremely handsome man who she has a lot in common with. But look, oh look, he's being slightly disrespectful. Oh look, his disrespect is increasing. Is she gonna cut him off, or is she gonna try to keep him around? And do that whole, ooh, I understand, ooh, I can nurture you, ooh, I can change you bullshit? Or is she going to recognize that she's also hot, she's also beautiful, she's also valuable, and then refuse to let him treat her like otherwise? I did so well at first, but then towards the end I thought to myself, I really want to know why he did what he did. And I tried to talk to him, and he said it was because he doesn't like himself, and it was easier to do something to make me hate him, since for some reason it's easier to make people hate him, and how he could tell that I saw something in him and he didn't know how to process that. And I was like, what do you mean saw something in you? And he said, like, feelings in any capacity, way, shape, or form. I can't handle that right now. And all that. And I don't know, I sympathized. Part of me still wanted to be his friend, but let's just say he said some more shit. And I can't tell to this day if some of it was intentionally dismissive or if he really is just that bullheaded and stupid. But it really fucked me up. And now I just sit here and I'm like, okay, I need to focus on moving on from him. I need to just. But it's happened so many times this year and this season where I've met people who are so fascinating and lovable and interesting, and because they don't like themselves, they decide that hurting me is what they need to do. Or they do self-sabotage shit that hurts them. And it's like, it's people I could have really connected with. But I can't change it. Like, I was friends with this one guy. He was like social media famous in East Flat area. Like huge. I'm talking like 150K followers type. And he had, like, he was a very attractive man. And let's just say no matter how much we had in common, it didn't stop him from just seeing me as another girl on his roster who he was hoping to play. It didn't work out for him. It backfired super hard, but and let's just say, and I don't know, romance is tiring. Like, I wanted something harmless and no stress, and I hate that things didn't align in a way where he could have talked to me respectfully, or he could have just felt safe with me. Because a friend convinced me. She was like, hey, Tamia, seems like he's putting in effort to, like, message you more. And, like, even when you tell him not to message you, or that he doesn't need to message you so often, he still does it because he likes you that much. I think you should give it a chance. I think you should, like, enjoy it and, like, not be afraid of love. And then just to, like, almost immediately get smacked down back to earth, if not hell. But for now, I'll say it's earth because it's not that bad compared to other people. And I don't know. I guess I don't know how to feel about all of this. I really don't. I'm just making this video to, like, figure out how I feel. I'll just put it like this. He's an attractive man, he's a talent, and he is also emotionally immature and selfish and thoughtless. But he is complex as a person, so I can't hate him. Just like, okay, you've got a lot of issues, man, you do. I would have liked to have cared about him, but maybe it just wasn't in the cards for me to just be put into the therapist friend yet again, or the almost girlfriend role to someone who would still be ungrateful or still be searching for elsewhere. Like, that just wouldn't have been fair. Sometimes crash outs are necessary. Like, I don't know. Something that can't be come back, that they can't come back from. Let's just say I really wanted it to work this time. Let's just say I really wanted to be able to be like, oh look, I have a cool friend who's as interesting and layered as me, and we can talk about deep, like, complicated subjects that I can't talk to that many people about, aside from this page, of course. Thank you for listening, by the way. I wanted it to work out. Not because I find them to be the most attractive person right now. Like, not just that. Like, even if they got disfigured, I'd like to think I'd still, like, try to be in contact with them. They seem like a cool person, and I like to get to know them. But I don't know, the rose-colored glasses are slowly slipping off my face, and I'm slowly getting used to the chin music of, hey, that dude didn't like, even if he did like you to a certain extent at some point, he didn't like you enough to think you were worthy of kindness or respect or good treatment or honesty or an apology, even when you really, really, really wanted an apology. He didn't think you were worthy of getting to know you. He didn't think you were worthy of, like, reciprocity or bare minimum interest shown back. So as much as I saw him as this fascinating being, I have to remind myself I'm just as hot, if not hotter. I'm just as cool, if not cooler. If anything, I probably am cooler. Because that was the most uncool shit he had ever fucking done. Like, he found a way to fuck shit up so fast. And I'm cooler because, like, look at me. I emotionally process my skills and feel remorse and actually hold myself accountable when I do bad and actually try to, like, change my mistakes if I can, or, like, distance if I can. And, like, yeah. It's like, and also, no offense, I probably could write better music than him. I can, absolutely. Also, he uses too much auto-tune in his music anyway. And his head is kind of like, it has bumps in it. You could tell because he's bald. Not bumps as in acne, bumps as in like speed humps, but it's like, I know that's not fully necessary for me to say, but it helps me process it. So it's like, I'm sure he would just be grateful that's like, as long as this bitch, if talking shit keeps her away from me, that works. Yeah. But I was just as layered and more interesting of a person, or just as, if not more, of an interesting person than he is. And he didn't see that in me, and I'm sure he liked that I could talk to him about certain subjects, but even then, he wasn't reciprocal. So I got to learn a bunch about him, and the opposite did not quite get to happen. I think it's his birthday today. I will not be wishing him happy birthday, obviously, because I'm not that desperate of a person. Also because, I'm pretty sure if it was my birthday, he wouldn't even think to wish me a happy birthday, because he wouldn't even know it was my birthday, because he doesn't bother to get to know me. It's, yeah, so I guess it's just like, I don't know, if this was just some sort of test to see if I'm better at setting boundaries and leaving, I like to think I passed the first few tests, but then I still cared and I still wanted answers, and sadly the crash out had to happen, otherwise I would probably keep trying to, like, expect some sort of, like, empathy or kindness or thoughtfulness out of, like, a person who just, it wasn't in the cards for us. On the bright side, I at least got to listen to the music, and I can support it from a distance, and yeah. Anyway, I think I'm good on talking for now. Plus, I ate Popeyes and a whole bunch of Pringles and some Rice Krispie treats and stuff last night, so frankly, I need to go take a sorry, I need to go use the bathroom. Sorry, I need to talk like a lady sometimes. I need to go take a huge bathroom break. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.